I got into the ambulance service in 1972 because my best friend had joined the ambulance service, and we were both born on the same date, and we exchanged wallets for 10 years. I'd bought a black one, he'd bought a brown one, and on Christmas Day we'd rewrap them and exchange them. And Ian told me so much about the ambulance service, how much he was enjoying it, and joined the ambulance, trained at Circular Quay Ambulance Station, and was posted to Lane Cove for my probation training. And I was trained by Graham Webster at Lane Cove Ambulance Station. Then went to Manly. We introduced a medical library into Manly Ambulance Station. We all put in $2 a week, everyone on the station, and purchased medical anat and phys books and various medical books, and studied pretty hard. We had the older ambulance officers coming in teaching us traditional ambulance procedures on the weekend. They come in the free time and teach us. And out of Manly Ambulance Station, in the early paramedic courses, we got 12, I think, intensive care paramedics came in from Manly Station. The intensive care paramedic course started in 1976 and was again held at Circular Quay Ambulance Station, the pre-primer course. We went from there to St Vincent's Hospital to be trained by Dr Bob Wright, Professor Michael O'Rourke, various medical experts came in and taught us for the 10-week training course, and then went out to various hospitals throughout Sydney. I went to Royal Prince Alfred and trained there with another course officer. From there, we went to Circular Quay Ambulance Station for our first posting. Then into ambulance headquarters, Randwick Station, Parramatta Station, Summer Hill Station, working quite a number of stations throughout Sydney. I attended some fairly big jobs, the Newcastle earthquake, both Bali bombings, the Clybucca bus accident, and the biggest job I went to was the Indian Ocean tsunami in 2004. That was an enormous job. We, myself and another ambulance paramedic, Adrian Humphreys, flew into Bandar Aceh, and we established a medical base in a private hospital that had been abandoned. It was 6 kilometres inland from the ocean side, and the wave had stopped 100 metres from the hospital, so it travelled the full 6 kilometres in. Everyone abandoned the hospital, and we took over the theatres and everything else. We had to break into storerooms to get operating equipment, and had to improvise. I had a Leatherman tool, which is a multi-tool, and it had an awl, which is a sail making implement on it, and the orthopaedic surgeon required a bone drill to sew back a finger or a couple of fingers on a gentleman's hand that was severed from holding onto a rope. And we were using very light anaesthetics, all drug anaesthetic, no gas. And he woke up very quickly afterwards, and I can remember wheeling him out of the operating theatre, and he looked at his hand and moved his fingers and said, "Oh, doctor, very good, very good." So he was very pleased. But it was an horrendous job. Over 100,000 people were killed in that wave in the city. We were there for 12 days, and it affected me for 12 months afterwards, the magnitude of the job. SCAT was introduced in 1986 following an incident at South Bondi where a 12-year-old girl had fallen over the cliff at South Bondi, and Paul Featherston responded to the job, and he couldn't get down to the girl, couldn't climb down. A fire brigade officer took his first aid kit and oxyvivor and climbed down a rope to the girl and treated her. But unfortunately, she passed away before she could be recovered to the cliff head and taken to hospital. And Paul went and saw our Metropolitan Superintendent, Mr. Jack Hawkins, and said, explained the situation and said we have to be able to get to patients no matter where they are in the state. If it's at the bottom of a lift well, or if it's in the valleys of the Blue Mountains, we need to be able to get to them. Where the car stops, we must put a team in to be able to bushwalk into people that are injured in the bush. Basically, if you have a heart attack in your lounge room or in the middle of the Jamison Valley, you should be treated the same. And that was the philosophy of SCAT. You receive the same treatment no matter where you are. The SCAT course was very intensive. As it was held during winter, it was cold. But we learnt access into the sea, out of the sea, roping access from cliff tops. Most of our training was done on 50-foot cliffs, but we ended our roping training with 300-metre abseil at Gary. Caving, navigation, and patient care in remote environments. The proudest moment of my career was coming home from Banderace. I was so pleased to see my family. We'd worked intensively for 12 days in the city of Banda, and it was just so fantastic to see my family and come back to normal day. That was the proudest time I had. The experience in Banda was of 21 aftershocks, one a 7.2 aftershock, and I thought the roof was going to collapse in the area that we were living in. And yeah, the heat, working in the heat with limited medication, limited equipment. It was a very difficult time. We lost young people to serious, severe infections. It was a very difficult job. The ambulance service has a unique group of counsellors called peer support officers, and I sought out one of the senior peer support officers, and he may not have known that I was actually debriefing myself, but having a cup of coffee with him and sitting and talking about it, he was very skillfully led me back to reducing my emotional levels, and I was able to go back into work. Extremely important, and it's right throughout the state. The country officers have exactly the same group of peer support officers, and then the professional counsellors that they can contact and debrief any major situations that they need to talk through. When you retire, the most common question you have is, do you miss the job? No, I don't miss the job. I did enough of it, but I miss the people of the job. The people in the job are just fantastic, and I miss seeing them do good work every day, and being able to talk with them and share their achievements and their growth. That's what I miss.